Unsolved.
JonBenet case, episode 227, going over last week's quiz. On last week's show, I presented these 5 questions. So this week, we will go over some of the viewer comments on these questions. So the questions are, number 1, who wrote the ransom note and why? 2, when did JonBenet's skull injury occur? 3, did anyone go through the basement window well that night? 4, was the food in her duodenum the pineapple from the bowl on the table? And 5, who put her dead body in the wine cellar and why? Patsy wrote the ransom note with John's help because they were going to move the body outside the house later. JonBenet was hit on the head during the strangling because of the bruising around the neck. No, I don't think anyone went in or out through the basement window well because they would want to be quiet and that grate would have made too much noise. Yes, it was the pineapple from the bowl. I trust the medical examiner. John and Patsy put JonBenet's body in the wine cellar because it was dark in there, and they didn't want anyone to see her, and they were right. And hence, I think Patsy, to divert suspicion to an intruder. Struck before the slip knot was placed around her neck. Hair and slip knot and brush handle knot was the time it would take to tie the knots implies she was immobile. No, undisturbed grate. Her body may have been put in the suitcase before being placed briefly in the window well. Most likely pineapple. She ate a piece of something after returning home before her death, and pineapple was there. The wine cellar was windowless with no light to the outside and possibly cold to slow decomp. Thomas. Patsy wrote the ransom note to hide Burke's accident. Because Burke had hit her in the head. No, cobwebs prove that. Yes, somewhere between bed and dead, she ate pineapple. Or something. Putting her there kept her hidden as required until better and final plan was thought of by John. You guys are all wrong. John wrote the ransom note, and he did it to confuse Patsy, and so she wouldn't call the police, but she did. He molested JonBenet in her bedroom or down in the basement, and then he had the garrote and he was strangling her and she was struggling and making noises, so he hit her in the head with a metal object. No one went through the basement window. That was all conceived by John Ramsey. He put the suitcase under the basement window and he led and showed Fleet White the broken window and the suitcase, so Fleet White would let the police know. The pineapple in JonBenet's digestive system was from the bowl in the dining room. It has to have been, because the last time JonBenet ate would have been at the White's house around 8 p.m., and she died around 11 or 12. That's 4 hours. And John Ramsey placed JonBenet's dead body in the wine cellar. Now, he might have moved it several times. He might have tried to put it in the suitcase. And the reason that the garrote was still around her neck was he was going to dispose of her body that morning. But Patsy called the police, and that changed his plans. And after the police were aware that JonBenet was murdered, John Ramsey spoke to Patsy and told her that she was probably going to be arrested. And that's why he hired attorneys, and that's why Patsy worked with John. And Patsy never knew that John had killed JonBenet, and she went to her grave thinking that an intruder killed JonBenet.
Please subscribe to my channel, the Nancy Drew channel.
Well, this ends this episode of Unsolved, and on the next JonBenet case, we'll look at those gatherings before Christmas to see if an intruder was lurking among the people at those gatherings. See you the next time.